Trump has proposed a ceasefire in the Middle East, and this may be the most dangerous move of the conflict so far. To understand what's happening, we first need a clear picture of the current state of the war. The United States continues to apply sustained air pressure, combining strategic bombers with long-range strikes to degrade Iran's military and energy infrastructure. Israel is operating simultaneously across multiple fronts, and Iran is responding with what has always been its core strength: asymmetrical warfare. Drones, missiles, and indirect control over critical maritime routes. From an operational standpoint, neither side has reached a decisive breaking point. No one has won, and no one has truly stepped back. And it is precisely in this context of escalation that Trump signals a pause. At first glance, it looks like containment, an attempt to reduce tensions before the situation spirals out of control. But when you analyze this proposal within the broader pattern of recent decision-making, a very different hypothesis begins to emerge. The idea that this pause does not represent de-escalation. It represents preparation. And the strongest indication of that is not in the rhetoric. It's in the ships. Because while public attention is focused on the ceasefire, two critical assets continue moving into position: the USS Tripoli and the USS Boxer. These platforms are not passive deterrence tools. They represent immediate power projection, with flexibility for air operations, amphibious assaults, and rapid force insertion. And here is the detail that cannot be ignored. The time required for these ships to reach operational readiness aligns directly with the proposed ceasefire window. That overlap does not appear accidental. In military doctrine, this type of maneuver has a name: operational deception. A visible reduction in tension designed to reposition strategic assets ahead of a decisive action. And this is not the first time this pattern appears. In previous decisions, Trump has demonstrated a clear preference for operations that combine ambiguous public signaling with unexpected execution. In past cases involving Iran, visible assets were used as distraction, while the main strike occurred outside the primary field of observation. A similar pattern was observed in movements related to Venezuela, where public rhetoric did not reflect immediate operational intent. Trump himself has previously referenced historical attacks to justify not informing even allied nations in advance. He does not hide the fact that he values surprise as a strategic tool. He has stated it openly. If this interpretation is correct, the most likely objective of a follow-up action would be to rapidly strike key structural points of Iran's system. Among them, Karg Island and its associated energy infrastructure. An operation of this kind, executed with speed and surprise, would generate immediate impact across two critical dimensions: energy and finance. Disrupting oil exports would sharply reduce incoming revenue. At the same time, coordinated strikes on electrical infrastructure would degrade the country's internal operational capacity. At this point, the central question is no longer purely military. It becomes structural. How long can a country sustain a scenario of energy isolation and financial collapse under continuous external pressure? That is the real question at this moment. This is no longer about who has more firepower. It is about who can alter the opponent's operating conditions faster. If the ceasefire is indeed being used as a preparatory phase, the conflict may rapidly transition into a new stage, one defined by sudden escalation and immediate global consequences. In practical terms, this moment is not the end of escalation. It is a strategic interval. And strategic intervals always come to an end. If you want deeper analysis like this, subscribe to the channel and stay ahead of what's coming next. Because here, you follow the conflicts shaping the world.